Today I'm starting a new series, Mars in 12 Zodiac Signs in your birth or progress chart from Kabbalistic ancient wisdom perspective. Make sure to check where your Mars in your birth chart and in your progress chart in Sidereal Vedic calculation system. For your convenience, I added my other video all about Mars, where I explain in great details about Mars energy with the PowerPoint images, what is his essence and why it was given to us as a humanity in the first place for our tikkun correction process and where it's located in tree of life reality. So make sure to watch until the end, and you will see, I think you will find this information very beneficial, and you probably never heard this before from other astrologers. So let's start with Mars in your progress chart. You can always check your Mars in your progress chart. There's many websites. I can leave links below as well, so it can help you to find this information. Now, with Mars, when Mars is actually end up in your progress chart, Mars is the planet. Let's remember that Mars is the planet rules by Aries, which means both of the energies are very similar and very sync with one another. I know that lots of astrologers claim that it is a good location for Mars to be in Aries. I disagree. It is not the best placement for Mars, except if Jupiter or Venus are in a good placement aspect. Otherwise, Mars makes person more defensive, arrogant, and competitive, to say less, especially if you don't know how to use restrictions with your reactive system. When Mars in your progress chart, this isn't a confusing time when you're not sure which way to go. It is actually great confidence, increased drive, and powerful beginnings. So this you can really benefit from Mars in areas in your progress chart, especially if you're not used to this type of energy and to be driven and stop to procrastinate. Mars transit through Aries is an amazing time for initiation and activity. If there's something you have been hesitate to start, Mars in Aries will help you finally get the ball rolling. So to make sure to check your progress chart. So Mars is the planet of action, and when he's in Aries, he's unstoppable and on top of the world. He's strong, independent, and fiery. There's nothing, absolutely nothing, that will stand on his way. No matter what he wants to accomplish, Mars in Aries is always triumphal in that sense. So fiery Aries in it's a cardinal sign, characterized in immediacy, activity, and pioneering. Because there's a little resistance there in Martian areas, it almost feels like our obstacles melt away. But it is not like they have totally disappeared. We are just too driven and confident to be daunted by this energy, even though you will probably face those obstacles at some point down to the road. That's not the point of Martian areas. This transit is not about planning, it is about moving forward, regardless of what you may stand in your way later. You will want to blaze trails, push yourself, and tone your body and mind during the time Mars in Aries. You will be likely to do things you have never done before during this transit. Mars in Aries are both about trying, not about winning. Success comes from participation rather than conquest. And while this incredible surge in energy can be beneficial, it can also become a challenge in your life, in your relationship, your love life, because you're less concerned with consequences. Impulsive behavior is very likely. You may find that you experience more outbursts of anger, or perhaps your direct approach rubs others the wrong way. Mars in Aries makes you feel like it is my way or highway, which means you aren't willing to meet others halfway. You could end up biting heads more frequently due to aggressive energy in the air during this transit in your progress chart. So just really keep in mind and try to be more in charge with your energy. Remember to pause, think, and only then speak. Be mindful of other people. Ask yourself, do I want to be right or I want to be happy? This is good mantra for the period of Mars in Aries in your transit. Now, let's say if you're born with Mars in Aries, again, you need to check your sidereal Vedic calculation. This is going to be much more accurate because it represents the direct energy from the sky and not the seasons. People born with the Mars in Aries are unstoppable forces. You're confident, driven, and action oriented. Finding it though to stand still too long, especially as a child, it was hard. So I hope the parents provide you with activities. And if you have a child with Mars in Aries, I do recommend to really organize his time and make sure at least once a day, sometimes for a couple hours, he's physically active to really put the energy in the right direction. Both Mars and Aries are about energy and movement, and having them combine in your chart infuse your spirit with stamina and motivation. But at the same time, as I mentioned before, it can make you actually more defensive sometimes, arrogant and competitive, to say least. So just really pay attention to your energy. You're assertive, you have a strong fighting spirit, and you won't back down from anything or anyone. Your self-assurance also makes it easy for you to explore new territories. While others may wait for someone else to make the first move, you relish the opportunity to enter uncharted waters. Being first makes you feel important and enriches your pioneering spirit, that for sure. In love, you are passionate, fiery, and likely to take the initiative. No one has ever mistaken you for wallflower, believe me. Commitment, however, is not your strong forte. Aries is the sign of the self, and sometimes you can become more selfish and self-oriented before you think about your partner. And having all your action-oriented energy in this independent sign can make it hard for you to focus on the needs of others. One of your biggest lessons in this lifetime is to find balance between your own wants and the needs of your loved ones and others around you. You know what you want and you know how to get it. Be mindful, however, of the limits this can place on your personal growth. Focusing time and attention on yourself is a good thing, and you are naturally more comfortable with the idea of me than others are. However, your personal focus tends to be more about getting what you want in the moment rather than in the long run. To be your best self in the future, you be wise to open yourself to others, their viewpoint, and suggestions. When it comes to opposite sex, again, you come on strong with passion that can overwhelm others. You love to chase others and create action in your love life. Get bored easily with the passive lovers. Your best partners, I would say, comes from the air signs and only in second place from the fire sign. So the air sign can really balance your energy, and instead to diminish, they actually can organize your energy. So the partner for this type of fire energy, it's definitely air sign I recommend. Instead of using your powerful personality to build up walls and go it alone, use to break down barriers and find the best and most effective ways of doing things together with someone. Just because you didn't come up with some idea at first doesn't mean you won't benefit from that. Learn to let your soul overpower your ego. Remember to pause, think, and only then speak. Be mindful. Ask yourself again, do I want to be right or I want to be happy? You have a big heart, open to others. One more thing I forgot to mention, it's about a combination of two Hebrew alphabet, two Hebrew letters, Dalit and He. Dalit create Mars and He create a sign of Aries. So those two letters very powerful for those of you who really want to be more in charge with your sign and with Aries in Mars, or if you have Aries in different houses, and as well Mars in different houses. This is very powerful combination, Dalit Hey. You can put these letters in a bright light and just close your eyes and meditate on it. And this is how you're going to connect to the essence of the creation of those two powerful giants, sign of Aries and Mars. Why it's so important to connect to this combination? Because this combination is really the seed of the DNA of these entities. So if you will know how to connect to it, you're going to be completely in power and charge. So I wish you all the best, and my next video can explain more. Thank you so much. Hi guys, thank you for tuning into my channel. It's Esther from Esther-Astro-Healing. Today I want to talk about Mars. I know there's a lot of videos made about Mars on YouTube, but I'm going to go from completely different direction. We're going to essence, what's really Kabbalah and Book of Affirmation, book Sefer Yezirah, explain about Mars in more depth. And we will go to the source why Mars was really created in the first place, why the energy of the Mars exists in our birth chart, and what does really represent. A lot of astrological schools, especially Western astrology, claimed that Mars represent male side in the chart. For example, if you, if a woman, you do chart woman, you can see according to the chart, to the Mars, look where he located, and if he debilitated, and how he's really placed his placement in someone chart, you can tell about the partner. It's completely false against the ancient astrology. Ancients explained then Jupiter really represent the energy of male. And if you will think how Mars can represent energy of male, if it's really unpredictable energy, and it's really represent in many times really force of lack of restriction energy. And as more we're going to go in depth, we'll understand why in the first place we do have this energy in our chart. Each of us have a Mars place in certain zodiac sign and as well in certain house. And it's extremely important to understand how Mars behave in our chart, because it's really represent our reactive system in a way, sometimes even our unpredictable behavior, when we're really having a hard time to restrict the way how we speak. And as well, Mars help us to achieve a lot of goals, because if Mars properly placed, and if you know how to deal with energy of Mars, if you gain enough knowledge and wisdom, and you understand how to use the level of restrictions and how to apply spiritual knowledge, you really can become completely control of the Mars. So I prepare for you something really few very, very cool things, and really cool PowerPoint too. But first I want to start reading small portion from the Zohar. Zohar is the book of splendor, and it's written on Aramaic. It's considered one of the only books was given to humanity by Creator to provide for us direct connection with the Creator, because it's written in Aramaic, and Aramaic is it says then angels don't understand Aramaic, and it says actually in Zohar. One of the reasons, because the Creator wants us to have direct connection with Him with no agents, like we usually when we do prayers, we need angels in a sense. So right now, I'm going to ask with the energy of the Zohar, we can connect and tune, and God willing, the information I'm going to provide can really serve you and help you to understand better the energetical force of Mars and why Creator wants us to have this part of our journey in this dimension. Zohar. The Zohar teaches that all creation occurred through the power of great wisdom. This secret is found in Bereshit. Bereshit is the portion of the Torah. Actually, this week it's the Bereshit, the Hebrew word of creation. We can now open ourselves to receive the spiritual wisdom in our own lives. Bereshit Rabbi Yadua Amar, Ma'i Bereshit bechachma da chachma de alma kayama ala, le'ala go razi setimin ilain, acha iglifu shit setrin, rabramin ilain de minhon nafe kola. De minhon it avidu, שית מקורין ונחלין לעילה גוימה רבה, והיינו ברא שית מאחה איתריבן, מן ברא לא נהגו דלה עדכי ההוא סתים לידיעה. Beautiful. So my channel and my videos do not just represent typical knowledge. I really hope by tuning to this wisdom and by listening even to the Zohar and to really the source, initial source, how the sky was created and operate, you can receive not just knowledge, it's going to become wisdom, and it can serve you on your daily life. So to start with, I'm going to share with you a screen, what I create. And just to come back a little bit about Mars. As you know, Mars is the fourth planet from the sun, and it's the second smaller planet in the solar system after Mercury. It's been called by many astrologers and many people red planet. And it's really going through, usually it's retrograde once in 2.5 years, sometimes from 6 to 8 months. Right now, we're in the middle, in the midst of Mercury retrograde. So all of us really affected by this energy. So I want us to see a couple of really, really amazing things. Mars in Hebrew, it's called Ma'adim. And you can see on your left, it's 10 sferot, tree of life. And the sphera of which is correspondent to Mars and belong to Mars is Gevurah. Now, what does the sphera Gevurah represent? Let's go further. And as well, another really, really cool fact about Ma'adim, the word Ma'adim, inside of this word, we have another word, Adam, man. And as well, we have another word, Adama. So you can see nothing coincidence in Hebrew. Everything, all the names was given by Creator. There's a really deep meaning and secret inside. And we can go further. So over here, you can see a couple of things. So as we said, we have 10 sferot inside of tree of life. And the Gevurah, it's fifth sphera. And I really want to show you something to bring to your attention. The Gevurah, it's really across from Chesed. Chesed, it's mercy. So it's mean Mars was given to us in order for us to experience this energetical force inside of our chart. It's not Saturn. Saturn, a lot of people mix the energy of Saturn with Mars. It's two completely different energies. Saturn, for example, it represents restriction and structure. It's really, really important planet as well. But Mars, it really came to teach us something completely else. So it's extremely important energy inside of our chart. It literally was given to us in order for us to learn how to deal with certain energetical forces in our souls. Every time when we decide to, and we ask to come back to return again to this dimension, we choose specific family, we choose specific situation and environment. It's exactly needed to the process we need to achieve. So in this instance, Gevurah, what is really Sferot? Sphera, which is one of the Sferot, Gevurah, it's attributes, emanations. So we have 10 emanations. I'm just very briefly going to explain to you very quickly. So the first three, Keter, Chachma, Binah, they don't really do anything here in this dimension for us at all, because we don't even have a capacity inside of our brain to understand how they function. But they're really, really important because they're in a higher realm. Then we're going down, we're going to Gevurah, which is represent left column energy. And then we're going to Chesed, represent right column energy, mercy. Then we're going to Tiferet, another center column energy. Hod, Netzach, Yesod, and Malchut. Malchut, this is the world we live in. So I want us to come back. So after Gevurah, what is the Gevurah? Gevurah, really direct translation of word Gevurah, it's straight. And as well, Mars represent Din, judgment, and limitation. It's represent, as I mentioned, left column energy. So we need to remember there's a deep secret into it, why I wanted to bring Tree of Life, 10 Sphirot, 10 attributes, for us to understand where Mars energetical force located. Because every time when we hear different explanation commentators about what's happening with Mars in the sky, how Mars in your chart, we need to understand the essence, where it's really coming from. So we're going to go next. Going next. Okay. So over here, what I put together for you, a little bit more in depth to understand how important the energy of Mars and how it's important energy of Gevurah, of judgment, in a sense, of limitation, in order for us to gain energy, to balance both energetical force, the mercy, the right column energy, and the left column energy. As an example, I put together for you here minus and plus. So we're going to play minus as a Gevurah and plus as a mercy. And in order for light to be revealed, we need to create filament. And how the filament created? With power of restriction and wisdom. So every time when we feel overwhelming energy is coming from, let's say, from energy from Mars, we have creating certain short circuit. We sometimes don't know how to restrict the way how we speak, how we judge, how sometimes certain aggressive energy comes inside, or we react to certain situation, what we see. We need to understand it's coming from very important place. It's really necessary, and it still exists inside of us. If it's still something, we always need to understand it's in order for us to balance along with other energy, in order for us to create the light. And again, it's coming from the left column energy as well. What else correspondent Gevurah? It's Angel Gabriel. I thought it's cool as well. Very important. Next, letter Dalet represent Mars. And this is really, really important. Another thing, we can meditate in this letter, because this letter represents seed level of the whole planet. It says in Sefer Yezirah, in the book of formation, or book of creation, and as well in other few ancient books, then each letter, alphabet, Hebrew alphabet, everything what we see in the sky was created with the letter, with Hebrew letter alphabet, with the Hebrew letter. So each letter represents a certain level of vibration and energetical force, which can help us to really control this type of energy. We need to remember we're very powerful. We have essence of creator inside of us, and creator create everything what we see around us is really created for us. And if it's created for us, it's mean we're able to control and to make sure everything serving us, and we serve everything around us. It comes along together. So letter Dalet, I do recommend for us to always remember. And if you want to work on the planet Mars, if you don't know your planet, I do recommend for you to find out where Mars is located in your chart, and not just in what zodiac sign, it's in what house. It's really, really important as well, because the depends on in what house it's sit. This is how he's gonna really open up and work with his energy in this particular house. If it's in house of relationship, you might will need to understand much deeper the way how you react to certain things, and why sometimes maybe you have misunderstanding with your partner. If it's in the house of children, or your career, or your even your relationship with the creation, if it's in the house of spirituality, and it's not used properly as well, it can be. But many times, if we know how to control Mars, it actually can serve us beautifully. Let's go further. As well, Mars called god of war. In Hebrew, it's El Ha-Melchama. So it's another thing we need to remember. And every time when we feel certain war energy inside of us, this is another combination can help us to feel more balance. What Mars represent? in a positive sense. It represents courage, it represents bravery, and it represents siblings. So a lot of people don't know that. But Mars represents siblings, your older, younger siblings, and competition. Who we have competition from very early age with our siblings. So Mars represents this energy as well. It's provide us opportunity to be more patient. It's sex drive. It's really important planet as well. It can be debilitated, and sometimes we don't really have desire. And it's really good idea as well to understand why Mars behave in certain way in our chart. We can gain confidence because Mars can definitely push us to do more and give us drive to be more active, leadership abilities, physical strength, desire, and much more. But this is main qualities I wanted just to bring to our attention. Now, not on so positive note, and again, it's important, Mars represent other qualities. It represent violence, represent impulsive nature, burns, bruises, anger, animal nature inside of us, cuts, short temper, arguments, hatred, as well as represent blood circulation. And it can create even heart attacks as well. So this is why it's important for us to control our anger, to control our reactive system, because it's literally affecting our health and as well the people around us. The next one, we have weapons, explosive. It represents generals, soldiers, policemen, technical and mechanical, people who in the technical and mechanical field. Its represent abilities, builders, designers, engineer, surgeons, and real estate. And right now, because Mars in retrograde position back and forth, especially he's right now in Pisces, and then he's going back again to Aries on November 14. By the way, he's going to be stationary, which is we're going to feel a little bit better. He's gonna, some of us, if you remember, I made a video really in details for all 12 signs. I really recommend for you to come back to this video. You can see, I explain for each sign in what house he's gonna be until end of the December. Why it's really important right now to understand the nature of Mars and instead to go against, to work with, because this is extremely important force of energy we was given in order for us to create more light through the restriction and wisdom. So we need to see this as an opportunity. And if right now the cosmic energy and asking us to pay attention more in relationship, in partnership, the way how do we business, the way how we don't know how to listen and to be patient to other person, how to accept other person. Sometimes we're so quick, so we have such a lack of patience to other people. We're missing a lot of very important connections and information. So Mars energy, it's really worth it for to work on it and to overcome. So that's it for this video. I'm planning to create video for all 12 signs, how Mars behave inside each sign. And I do recommend for you to definitely to watch that. You can find on YouTube from tomorrow. So you can find more information for each sign. And why it's really important, again, you will understand better the nature of Mars energy inside of your chart, because all of us have difficulties sometimes to really to work with certain energy inside of ourselves. And when you understand how it works, again, I'm repeating myself, we can control this energy. I just want to remind us that one of the first astrology, Abraham, when he used to go every night as a shepherd and count the stars, Creator spoke to him and told him, stop to count the stars, start to move them. So this is our mission, to understand how cosmos work and not to be slave of the energy of the cosmos, opposite, to become the creators, because we do have a creator inside of us and we have full power and ability to overcome and to be balanced and loving and sharing people. One of the reasons we come back to this dimension. I wish all of us many blessings. I'm looking forward to more interaction. You're welcome to leave any comments. Don't forget to support my channel if you feel it's beneficial information for you. And if you're interested to have a session with me, you can see the links below. I wish you all the best, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.